Hello and welcome. My name is Stephanie Dawn, and welcome to the Luminary Leaders Masterclass on the miracle molecule. I personally have become obsessed with molecular hydrogen because it's helping me heal a stage 4 cancer diagnosis. A year ago, I was bedridden in a great amount of pain. And I began, after working to heal my body naturally for 4 years, I began a year's worth of metronomic low dose chemotherapy. And every single day, I was drinking my molecular hydrogen water in the hopes that it would support a rapid recovery. And that is exactly what's happened for me. So I am forever grateful for the opportunity to find molecular hydrogen and to be supporting my health in this way every single day, as simply as just drinking water. So we are going to be getting into the benefits of molecular hydrogen water. We're going to be talking a little bit about this very special device, and I'm going to turn it on for you right now and I've got my violet flame here going. This is the molecular hydrogen going into the water right now. And so I drink about 4 or 5 uh, containers of these a day. And like I said, I'm healing a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, metastasized breast cancer to the bones, to be exact. And that's one of the most, that's an amazing part of my story. But I want to share another part of my story. And then my dear friend and colleague, Colette Schnall, is going to be sharing how this miracle molecule has impacted her. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the business towards the end. But one of the key pieces that was incredibly illuminating for me last August of 2024 is that I was dealing with a lot medically, and I wasn't really paying attention to how this was helping me because I was dealing with so many things. And at one point, I'm driving along in the summertime, and I was with my mom. She's 84, and I was wearing short sleeved shirt, and she goes, "Steph, look at your arms." And I said, "What about them?" I'm staring down at my arms. She goes, "Your skin is beautiful, honey." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, thanks, mom." And, I'm looking at my skin and I'm being very quiet. And I just turned 60 in January. And for most of my adult life, I had incredibly dry, scaly, flaky arms and shins. And as I'm looking down at my arm, I'm like, that is not what I'm looking at right now. And I said, "Oh my God, mom, do you know what we're looking at right now?" She goes, "What?" And I said, "A hydrated body." So this was a revelation to me because I realized in that moment that I had been dehydrated for probably over a decade. I had been racking it up to, oh, this is just what it means to be getting older. So this was a big deal for me. I used to whip off my yoga pants and the cells, the dried cell flakes would go flying. That is not the case anymore. My body is hydrated, and this is incredibly meaningful for me. Obviously vanity is something that we women deal with. So, that it's wonderful to have beautiful, radiant skin. But also what I know is that the cells, right? Because I like to call cancer mitochondrial dysfunction. Molecular hydrogen helps with mitochondrial function, and Colette's going to be getting into that a little bit. And when you have your cells working in an optimal way, your body, your systems, everything is going to be working in an optimal way. So I'm a bit of a layperson when it comes to all this stuff. So Colette's going to dive a little bit deeper. She is the biohacking mama. She is a mother of two. She is really, I call you a health influencer. You are to me, Colette. I follow you. I've been following you for a long time. You're a dear colleague of mine, and you know, a lot of people look up to you. She has a following on Instagram. You should definitely check her out. So, without further ado, I want to welcome you here to share about this miracle molecule, and we're going to get into a little bit of a masterclass around why this is important, why we're here, and why we care so much about sharing this with you tonight. So, thank you for being here. I'm going to pass the baton to you, Colette.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. I just get so inspired every time I hear your story, and I honor you for trusting your body and knowing that there's different ways that you can influence it to reactivate the innate wisdom inside that it's known to what to do. So I'm going to share my screen. Like Stephanie said, I am super passionate about everything health optimization. I'm very passionate about empowering families on learning how they can optimize, that it is something from the very beginning that everyone should be doing with their kids. And I also don't want families to be wasting their hard-earned money. So I work really hard at finding the best of the best that's going to really be influencing a family in their health. And the reason that we are all here is because we're here for a beautiful community that is put on through a company that is from the hydrogen. It's called LumiVitae. And so we're talking about hydrogen. Stephanie's sharing her story. And so I just wanted to share this quote here, that molecular hydrogen has the potential to revolutionize medicine as we know it. And the reason I wanted to start with that is because America is a little slow to the game here, people. This is already being used in clinics across the world. It's starting to get more recognition in America, but we are really here to set this wave, and it's already happening, and it's been so fun to educate people about it. So there is this hidden crisis, a global issue of dehydration, that 75% of the people are just chronically dehydrated. And this is a really major thing because most things that people deal with in their lives are over amounts of stress and inflammation. And I don't know if you are aware of this. Put a 1 in the comments if you know that the starting cause of inflammation is actually dehydration. Because I didn't know that before. I was never really into water before. And so when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's interesting because inflammation is the leading cause of all disease. So maybe we just need to be a little more hydrated, right? And that is where I just found this beautiful molecule of like, wow, that's amazing and what it does. But let's go back to the very beginning. And because the beginning is what started it all. And if you go back to science class and you look at that periodic table, the first molecule that's there is hydrogen. And the reason is because that's the first thing that birthed everything in the world. It's the start of stars. It's what was here abundantly in our waters, in our air. But unfortunately, as man came, we came in and did all the man things and have destroyed the ways that we received this amazing molecule. So what is hydrogen and why is it super important for us in our health? Well, molecular hydrogen turns water into a really powerful wellness tool. It's combating dehydration and oxidative stress. But how does it do that, right? So when the hydrogen comes into your body, it has this intelligence. Sometimes it's called the God molecule. We like to call it the miracle molecule. You call it whatever you want. Magic thing inside your body. Because what it does is it has a brilliance to find where the most oxidative damage is within your body and initially be able to help balance it out and get your body back into a state of homeostasis and balance. So it's the only antioxidant that reaches the mitochondria and the brain, right? It's really hard to get something to go through the blood-brain barrier to help support your brain. And so because hydrogen is the smallest molecule in the world, it can deeply penetrate inside our mitochondria, which is deep inside of our cells, which is what's producing all of our energy and how it's helping support our aging within our body, whether you're aging fast or aging slowly. And how it can cross the blood-brain barrier, it's really impacting so many different things, right? Because if there's inflammation in the brain, that can lead to things like anxiety, right? That can also eventually turn into different neurodegenerative diseases. It could be supportive for someone that might have something like an ADHD or autism and things like that. It helps to settle everything down in the brain. It has this really amazing selective antioxidant power, right? It acts like an antioxidant, which is very interesting because some of the other antioxidants can't actually get straight into the cells. So it is the only one that can go deep straight into every single cell of your body and naturally create balance without causing any single side effects. There's no side effects and there's no contraindications. So every single person, plant, animal, your little ones at home can all be utilizing hydrogen for a therapeutic reasons. And I truly believe that it's the key to cellular energy and recovery. So molecular hydrogen actually increases your ATP. I like to think of my cells in my body as a battery. It's my life force. It's your life force. And so if our cells do not have enough energy, our light dims, and that's when sickness and diseases start to set in. So we want to keep our ATP high and to keep our cells lit bright. So this is why it's something that people like myself, like a biohacker or other professional athletes, people who are regenerative practitioners, all of us, we're wanting to utilize this for faster recoveries, more endurance, and it's really supporting our mental clarity. My friends are always like, Colette, how do you get all that done? And I'm like, I don't know. I just have all this capacity to do all these things now. And it's just one simple molecule that I incorporated into my life. And what about gut health? There's so many people are struggling with gut issues. In America, our food system is wrecked and it's nothing is helping our gut. And so the hydrogen has this brilliance how it can go in and balance and reduce any inflammation in your intestines. And so it's benefit for people that might have suffering with IBS, Crohn's disease, and any autoimmune disorders. And I just want to put a pause in that real quick and tell you a quick little story about my mother. My mother has had rheumatoid arthritis for over 30 years. She was getting injections, infusions, and even had to get a colon resection because she was on so much pharmaceuticals that it started to eat away at her gut lining and cause diverticulitis, and they had to cut some of it out. But also because of her RA, she has extreme anxiety because of the inflammation that's in her body. I was home at Christmas last year in 24, and actually no, 23 this was, and I couldn't find her. She was on the floor in her closet crying. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? She's like, oh, my anxiety is just so high. I'm like, Mom, can you? And I was new to studying this molecule. I was like, I read something that this is good for anxiety. Will you just drink this? She came down in 10 minutes and she's like, I don't know what's in that voodoo water, but I've never had something calm my brain down so fast. And I kept feeding her this water because they made fun of me because I requested clean water for the house that we were renting for Christmas. And then what? Guess what? Everyone wanted to drink out of my special little device, and she never put her braces on her wrist the entire week that we were there. That's how quickly it works on the inflammation inside someone's body. Longevity and anti-aging. I feel like this is something that all of us are wanting more of in our life. It's something that I'm really passionate about teaching people on, that we actually have control in how our body ages. And so by reducing the oxidative stress and the inflammation at a cellular level, the molecular hydrogen has the capacity to slow down the aging process. It also enhances our skin health and supports our longevity. And if you don't believe what I said in those few slides, there is so much more that you can go find out for yourself. There's over 3,000 publications showing what hydrogen does with inside the body. There's more than 200 disease models. So what does that mean? Over 200 diseases could be alleviated or postponed and possibly not there anymore by proper hydration through molecular hydrogen. And so if you want to study more, definitely utilize resources like the Molecular Hydrogen Institute. Also, Mr. Google, type it in. If you want to know if hydrogen is going to benefit it, I guarantee you type in XYZ with molecular hydrogen, and you will most likely find something that will be beneficial for it. Here's just some other amazing ways that hydrogen is beneficial. It supports your immune system, gut health, anti-aging, mental health, neuroprotective, cancer support, like Stephanie has been experiencing, hormonal health, How much are women suffering with hormone issues these days? Even our young girls, little girls are getting their menstrual cycles so early because their hormone systems are so out of whack. We need to get these little ones' bodies back into the natural cycles that they're supposed to be, and hydrogen has the capacity to help their bodies do that. Fitness and recovery. It gives you more energy and more endurance, and it's also going to help your body recover faster. It helps reduce that lactic acid that builds up after an intense workout. People who are big gym goers or professional athletes, half the time they're like, did I even work out that hard? Because it works just like that. That's the same slide. We'll skip through that. Okay, I'm going to play a quick video for you guys. I hope that you can hear it so you can see this beautiful device that we are talking about.
Does the video have sound? Because we can't hear it.
It does have sound. I'm so sorry you couldn't hear it. We'll figure out a way to get that sound through next time. But I'll go through the bottle for you guys so you can actually understand how it's working. So let me just pin myself so you guys can see it a little bit. Okay, so let me quickly show you how the bottle works. You would just turn it on in the base here. It always tells you how much battery you have, but you can see those bubbles of hydrogen started to form immediately. So that is hydrogen gas that is then dissolved into the water. Also in the base, as you saw on the screen, there is a magnets in a ring in the base here. This is creating a grounding effect, just like how if we go outside and walk in the grass, we're grounding. It's also structuring our water. So that's really important. The structure of the water allows the water and the molecules of the hydrogen to be actually more penetrating into the cells of your body. And lastly, this is like the really cool thing about this bottle is that this lid is a whole other device within itself that creates frequency programs that you can imprint into your water. So there's energy, recovery, which is great for if your immune system is weakened or after an intense workout. And then Lumi Vitae, which means light of life. This is the frequency of sunlight. So just how the sun provides life and life force to plants through photosynthesis, it's the same concept. That life force of the frequency is being put in here of information. And when you drink this, because water holds information so powerfully, it speaks to your body to start creating a resonant change. And so also, lastly, this awesome bottle does chromotherapy. So you can choose different colors based off your emotional needs. Maybe you understand what the chakras are like if you're going and doing a lot of yoga and meditation. So you can choose 7 different colors. I think Stephanie said she had hers on violet. So choose all of that based off your emotional needs, and you can kind of look up what all of that, what that means through chromotherapy. Let me get back to my screen here. Lastly, this is extremely important when you are investing in your health for molecular hydrogen. You want to make sure that if you're spending your money, that it is a certified device. It is not all the bottles do get or devices get certified. And why do you want it to be certified? Because when you make hydrogen, you also make other things. Bad byproducts could be heavy metals, it could be some toxic gases, and that could then leach into the water. And so this bottle is a handcrafted, no third parties, no white labeling. Everything was designed specifically for the company LumiVitae. And with that, the way that this hydrogen is made, we can guarantee that no byproducts or bad gases that will be toxic to your health will be getting into that water. So that's why it's extremely important to make sure when you invest in your health that you're getting something that is certified. So this bottle, actually this is in euros, but we just localized the United States. So right now you can get your bottle in US dollars with shipping. It's around $509 to your door. That's with the shipping included. It has a 2-year warranty and a 21-day money-back guarantee. So I suggest when you order that bottle tonight from the person who shared this link with you, that when it arrives at your door, you start using that bottle immediately. Don't let it sit on your counter for a few days or a week if you're busy. No, unbox it straight away because you want this and you're going to just feel amazing as soon as it kicks in. But something else is launching really soon, and we are so excited about this. We've had this amazing flagship product now for a year and a half, and people are like, we need more, and we know that. And I'm so excited for this next product that's going to be launching in like what's the date today? Today's the what's the date today? The 15th. We have 10 days. 10 days. This is launching on May 25th. Now, this is a hydrogen tablet and an NAD fusion. Put a 2 in the chat if you have heard about NAD before. Perfect, Julie. I'm so glad that you've heard about it. I hope so. She's a regenerative health practitioner. But anyway, NAD, it's becoming super popular right now. And this is a major component into your longevity game. And so what is going to be inside these amazing tablets that are called LVQ Plus? It stands for Liquid Vitality Chi. So it's going to have those therapeutic amounts of hydrogen, a big dose of hydrogen for your body. And then it will have the precursors to NAD. These are compounds that actually help your body naturally make NAD inside. And let me go a little bit deeper so you can understand how all of these things work. One thing I did not say about the hydrogen before is that when you consume hydrogen and you have ample amount in your body, any other supplementation or your nutrition, all those things are going to be received so much more. So this is why it's so cool to see what they put together in this formulation. So let's talk about the first piece, which is nicotinamide riboside, or NR. It is a precursor to NAD. So NAD in the regular world, some people might get it through IV drips. Maybe you've heard of that. It's extremely expensive, like $500 per session, and it takes a long time. And then also it only has a very short half-life in your body. I would say to do that if you're extremely sick or dealing with something like in the spot. But it's not making your body create the NAD. So it also can be a heavier amount for your body to process. Don't need to get into that. But what is the NR going to do for you? It is going to enhance the insulin sensitivity. It's going to support fat metabolism and reduce systemic inflammation. It supports your cognitive function. So it may support in any of the neurodegenerative diseases. And it also helps in your muscle recovery and strength. And also, I want you to pay attention as I'm reading through all of these key pieces that they're all put together because they work synergistically and they're going to make something super awesome happen inside your body. Next is resveratrol. This is the cellular longevity molecule. Maybe you've heard about this because it's found in red wine and grapes. Maybe that's why people say, well, 1 glass of red wine a day is okay. But what is it also good for? Well, it helps.
RJ,
Oops.
come on.
Let's mute that one. Okay. It is good for sirtuin activation. So this can promote the longevity inside your cells and help with the cellular detox pathways, which is important because with the hydrogen, it naturally helps to flush out your blood, to flush out your lymphatic system. So we're wanting other components to help get that cleanup happening inside your body. It helps to increase the nitric oxide availability within your body. Anti-cancer potentials. It helps when protecting for healthy cells from oxidative damage. Hormone balance, ladies. It can help balance the estrogen levels due to its mild phytoestrogen activity. And it also supports brain cognition and could potentially support people with Alzheimer's or preventing Alzheimer's. Vitamin C. We all know what vitamin C is great for, but when we utilize it with the hydrogen and everything, it can also help regenerate other antioxidants in the body, like increasing the vitamin E. It enhances the iron absorption when many of us are very iron deficient, and helps support the collagen production, right? Thank you. It also, again, so you see, it's working with the oxidative stress. It works in conjunction with those other two pieces. Spermidine. So spermidine is a natural compound that you can find in different foods, and it has an amazing benefit. It does this thing called autophagy. So autophagy is when your body can naturally start cleaning up. But a lot of the times to get into a state of autophagy, you need to get into a fasting state, ketosis, but also women tend to have a harder time to get into states of autophagy when we are in middle age, when we have so much hormone fluctuations. So this is great that we have a piece that's going to be increasing that autophagy every single day. Again, more benefits for brain health. I love this piece right here about the cardiovascular health that they already are showing reduces in heart disease, and it's also supporting a healthy blood pressure by reducing the inflammation within the body. And again, more immune support and maintains a balance with the T cell response. And lastly, great improvement for skin care, for your skin elasticity, hair growth, and hair strength, as well as your anti-aging benefits. Magnesium. Magnesium is so good for us. It's the master mineral. It helps you calm down. It helps to, it helps you with your muscle functions and everything else through your stress as well. And so at this point, we're going to call in our friend Cindy, who's going to really go in to share who it is that we would love to work with and who is this for.
Amazing. So much great information. Thank you so much, Colette and Stephanie. You guys have just been rocking it. This is so great. I'm going to go over this pretty briefly for you guys. We can always do a deep dive at another time, but just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we have going on right now. Okay, so who are we calling in? Who's my slide person? Not me. Okay, so high vibe, purpose-led change makers who believe in abundance, wellness, and the power of community, because success is best when it's shared. And that's really the foundation of what we all stand for and what we are doing when we come together here in community. If this is speaking to you, you are on the right Zoom, you are in the right place, you're exactly where you need to be. This is a co-creation. So this isn't just a creation from Taryn and the corporate side, but this is a co-creation with Stephanie, with Colette, with myself, and with every one of you. So if you shall choose to be part of what we are creating. The purposes at the end of the day will come back to freedom, right? It's freedom to live our own life, to live on our terms. It's freedom over our health, health sovereignty, wealth sovereignty. It's really all the things that we aren't necessarily taught as children in school, but that as we grow up and we realize like the deeper meanings of what we're doing, we really just want to have a life of purpose and a life of freedom where we feel like we're in control of our choices. And when we have wealth and abundance, and when we have our health, it's a lot easier to do those things. So our mission is to create the very next evolution in technology and wellness. And I really love this, and this speaks to me because wellness is an enormous industry. And at the same time, the future is in technology, right? Technology is changing faster in the last decade than we've ever seen before. So what better than to bring in high level technology, state of the art, next level, like be ahead of the trends and have it tying right into the most important thing of all, which is our wellness. Something that I think is extremely important, as I believe everyone on this Zoom right now is women, and we tend to bring a lot of women into this, is that only 0.01% of companies have achieved what we've done, which is our first year, we've achieved a 50 million valuation under female leadership. And so Luminary is changing the game on what it means to bring female founders to market and to grow amazing, beautiful, heart-centered leaders that are female. So the path, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we have going on right now, and that's the OmniLight and how to build a 6 or 7 figure business right now with these tablets that Colette just went over in the next 6 months in Lumavite. So drop in the comments if that sounds like something that you're actually here to do. Like if you're inspired by more than just taking the product for your own internal health, but the idea of creating that kind of leverage in 6 months is something that lights you up. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Let's do it. Next slide. So this is the most generous bonus that I personally have ever seen, definitely offered in Lumi history, but really anywhere. And it's because we're launching. We're launching in the United States. We're launching in the United States actually yesterday, we launched our US distribution facility, which is a really big deal. We can now sell our bottles in US dollars. That's going to come with our tablets, which are a USA only product. And so we only launch one time. So you guys, this is super time sensitive. You're not going to want to do this alone. This is where you're going to want to work as a team, plug in to a team, bring all the people that you love and care about, that you actually, all of you that said yes, raise my hand. Like that's what I want. If that felt like that, any of those slides were like calling you in and you just felt like, my gosh, this is the time. This is the time that I could take a revolutionary product. I could biohack my own body, but I could also do all the things. And I feel like I've just been waiting for the thing, the one thing, the moment where technology blends with wellness, the moment where I can make a difference. Like I invite you to sit with that and let us know if that time is now. Waiting for the slide there, babe. There we go. So what we have coming to you right now, and again, I'm not going to go over crazy detail at the moment. I just wanted to go over a little bit to give you guys an idea, and then you can get back to the person that brought you here today. Is these are the bonuses, not just the income, but these are the bonuses that you can make in the next 6 months by building a massive organization and really being one of the ones that raise your hand and say, I want to lead the way in Lumavite. I want to create change. I want to open the US. I want to open these markets. I want to get these tablets to everyone that I know, bottles in addition, but this just happens to be specifically a monetary incentive for the launch of the United States, which is launching with these bottles. And so if you look at these numbers and you think they sound overwhelming and massive, and you have these like feelings in the pit of your stomach and you're like, I have no idea how in the world I would do that, but that sounds amazing. All of those things means you're in the right place, because all of those things are what we feel every minute of the day, and why Stephanie, Colette, myself, and all of our family and team here are nonstop on calls, getting everybody just to be able to participate, to be part of what we're doing, because what we're doing is something that's just far bigger and greater than probably any challenge any of us have taken on. And it does sound kind of scary, but collectively it doesn't. Collectively, when we all like put our hands in together and we do this, we're going to do it. We're all going to do it. We're all going to do this, and we're going to create a legacy for our children, for our family, impact for thousands and thousands of mamas that want to come home to their babies and just want that life of freedom where, yeah, together we rise higher. So I'm not going to go over the whole structure of it all today. Again, this is just kind of like a little bit of an overview of what is on the table, because the idea is, if this speaks to you, let us know, because that's what we're here to do. So I think that's my last slide, right? Yeah. All right. So that's just a little bit of the business and what we have going on right now. It's a very unique opportunity and time in Lumavite, and I'll pass it back to you girls.
Beautiful, Cindy. Incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you, Colette, for that deep dive into the benefits of molecular hydrogen and this brand new product that's launching in 10 days. So if you're picking up what Cindy was putting down and what Colette was sharing and what I've been sharing about how this can help you or your loved ones, or if you're a practitioner, your clients, your patients, we want you with us. We want to do this with you, as Cindy was saying, because together we can change lives. Alone, it's a bit more difficult, but if we unite and we all join hands, we're going to help thousands and thousands and really millions of people all over the world. So I'm very excited to be a part of this company and for this opportunity, and want to invite you to get back with the person that invited you to be here and reach out to them and set up a meeting. All right, here we go, ladies. Thank you again for your time, Cindy and Colette, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.